over to you.
All right, time for our Smart Money segment, Sue. The fallout from subprime lending may be creating some opportunities in international bonds. And joining us to tell us where he sees opportunities in that arena, that's Art Steinmetz, of course, Senior Vice President, Portfolio Manager of the Morningstar 5-star rated Oppenheimer International Bond Fund. He also manages Oppenheimer's Strategic Income Fund. The Wall Street Journal's Greg Zuckerman is with me on this as well. Arthur, welcome back. How you been?
Very good, thanks.
It does tend to be a zero-sum game in some of these markets. If there is some suffering going on in this country, maybe you can find opportunities overseas, especially with the dollar falling, I guess, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's a long-term opportunity around the dollar, and there's some very short-term opportunities where the window is open right now. And it has to do with what everybody has seen going on with subprime and mortgages in the U.S. It has, of course, spread to Europe. I mean, who knew that German banks had a lot of this stuff? So spreads on German finance paper have really blown out here.
Art, I'm curious, when you talk about international bonds, I'm thinking more the U.S. might be a little more attractive. Yeah. The rally's been really strong here, obviously. Make a comparison, if you could, versus the U.S., if you're a bond investor.
Well, you know, the interest rates have fallen in Europe as well. But what has, of course, been very interesting is the way yields on very, very high-quality paper around the world, particularly short-term paper, have really lagged the rally in treasuries. And that's really open, and German government bonds, for instance. So that's really opened up the opportunity, because the banks who are having to take assets back on their balance sheet from deleveraging, hedge fund margin calls, commercial paper programs being unwound, simply have no more room on their balance sheets for this paper, no matter how high quality it is.
Yeah, we're looking at this chart of the pickup between you're itemizing between an issue from Washington Mutual and a German government bond. Tell us what we're seeing here.
Yeah, that's so-called covered paper. That's issued by Washington Mutual, a U.S. bank. Right. And this is AAA prime stuff. It's also backed by the credit of the bank itself. But again, because this is AAA paper, it's really extremely safe. I mean, you talk about U.S. mortgages. Prime mortgages of homeowners in Sioux Falls and Springfield, Missouri, are going to be doing just fine. So this paper is just fine. But it's like the fall of Saigon in 1975. Remember those scenes of the helicopters flying out from Saigon trying to land on the U.S. aircraft carriers? There was just no more room on the deck for those choppers, so they were pushing perfectly good Hueys into the ocean. That's what's going on. They're taking these perfectly good AAA assets and heaving them over the side because there's no room on bank balance sheets for them. That creates the opportunity for us. So, Art,
you're not making a broader argument to plunge into international bonds?
I'm sorry?
You're not making a broader argument to buy all kinds of international bonds. You're staying specific.
Oh, no. Right. No, you certainly have to do careful due diligence as you move down in credit quality. But these are assets that are, the credit story has nothing to do with it. That illustration that you just showed also would apply, although less dramatically, to bonds that are backed by the full faith and credit of the German government. Again, there's just no room in the balance sheets for this paper, even though it's fully government paper.
So very quickly, what's the takeaway for the individual investor? If you're looking to buy an international bond, you want a better yield someplace else than you can get here in the United States, where are you going to go?
Well, it's as you know, Bill, I'm always a big fan of emerging markets, and that goes to the long-term dollar story. If the Fed is going to come in here and ease and create money, start printing money, that's ultimately inflationary, and that's not good for the dollar. So maybe the Japanese and the Germans are going to be doing the same thing. So where do you go? Commodities are interesting. You've noted what gold has been doing here of late. That means countries that are commodity exporters, like my old favorite Brazil, continue to look to be interesting plays.
Very good. Art, good to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Greg, we'll check back with you in a few minutes as well. Sue?